You read that right. I have a new Bee's Knees lacquer collection that I'm swatching for you, and I could not be happier. I guess almost a year ago, Bee's Knees Lacquer announced that they would no longer be launching collections in their shop. They weren't sure if it was going to be for a little bit or forever, and being the pessimist, I just assumed it was forever. So when Sarah reached out to ask if I could swatch a new collection, I did a very happy dance. And I actually think I got the email while I was at a Sam Smith concert, so it was just a very joyful experience. There are 8 shimmers in this collection. They are inspired by The Fourth Wing, and the mysteries are inspired by Leon from Resident Evil 4. So I'm just going to read my notes here. The launch is September 15th at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the new updated Bee's Knees Lacquer website. I will link that down in the description. There will be an initial limit of 1 polish and 1 mystery bag per person until September 18th, after which, if there's anything left, you can buy more. This is a pre-order. It will end September 22nd at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. There is currently a soft cap on everything. 1,000 bottles of each polish in the Fourth Wing collection will be available. And there are 1,250 mystery bag polishes available. Bee's Knees Lacquer also has a new logo, which you're going to notice. It's very classy and minimalist. And there are going to be mystery bags, which I kind of alluded to. I will include the 2 mysteries I received at the end of the video in case you don't want to see those polishes, but there are going to be, I think, 12 mystery polishes available in total, and everything else you might need to know is going to be in the description, and I am just so excited to get into the swatches. In no particular order, I'm going to show off the collection we have to teach us about our past. And this one is a milk chocolate base with large particle green to blue shimmer. So this one is on the sheer side when it starts out, but it builds up very easily and is extremely sparkly because of that larger particle shimmer. So I don't have time to do comparisons in this video, but that's my chair is very squeaky. This is similar in the particle size to the Puppy People. So if anyone remembers that polish, it is a similar particle size to that, but totally different color shift and base color. So I recommend building this one up in 3 coats. And while it is described as a milk chocolate base, on me it appears a bit orangey just because of my skin tone, but it could look different on someone else. And this one, as you're going to see shortly, has lots of shifts. There's purple in there, definitely the green, blue, gold. You're going to see it all. And for my swatches, I'm using the Bee's Knees Lacquer I'm Very Fast Quick Dry Top Coat, which is definitely fast drying. So here you can see it in the sun that there's like a bit of a teal turquoise shift to it. There's a pink shift to it. There's a purple shift to it. It has a ton of different colors in this polish, and it's infinitely entertaining. I love this particle size because, as you saw, it is very sparkly in the sun. So even though it's not holographic, it's still sparkly, and hello, sparkle is life. So I'm very happy to see this beautiful polish, and it is a sign of very good things to come for the rest of the collection. Next up, we have Truth is Painful, and this one is described as a sheer cornflower blue full of red to orange to green aurora shimmer. This one, like all Bee's Knees Lacquer, generally is on the sheer side when it starts, but they build up very easily, and they are so packed with shimmer that it distracts from any potential visible nail line. Or of course, if that's not your look, you can layer them. But honestly, Bee's Knees Lacquer is probably my favorite brand, and if it's not my favorite, it's like one of my top 2, because they make the most beautiful shimmers. the best formulas. They're super unique and they last really well on me. And hopefully, if you're new to the brand, you're going to discover why I love them and why so many people love them, because I think their polishes are fantastic, as evidenced by this one on the screen. You can just see how that shimmer has built up by the time I've gone in with this third coat. It's pretty much opaque and it has just this beautiful depth to it. So you will want top coat to make it as glossy and shiny as possible. And in a second, you're going to see that this one has a multitude of color shifts to it. So honestly, I found this one to be quite rainbowy. It's probably because it's a Aurora shimmer. You're getting yellow, green, blue, red, even a bit of purple at the extreme angles. And this one is just absolutely stunning. Also, I apologize for my throat. I don't know what happened to it, but for the last month, it has been weak and not right, which is not good because I like to be loud and it's not happening. Anyway, I hope you are entertained by what you see on the screen, because this polish is so shifty and pretty. It looks beautiful in every lighting, and truth is painful. Word. Next up, we have Strength of Courage, and this one is described as a sheer blurple with strong gold to green shimmer. So blurple meaning it's a blue purple blurple. And if anyone remembers House on Haunted Chill from 2017 Bee's Knees lacquer, this one is reminiscent of it, but I don't have that polish. I might have at some point. I don't have it anymore, so I can't speak to it, but it is beautiful, I can say that much. And on me personally, it leans more blue than purple. And this is another one that you will want to build up in 2 to 3 coats. So I went thinner on my index finger as I usually do, and you can see it was lighter, so I had to build it up to 3 to match my middle. And of course, glossy top coat will just maximize the shimmer and sparkle in this polish, which again is plentiful. There are a lot of color shifts in this one, as you are going to see very shortly, but you can even see here that there's gold and pink. So I'd be interested to see swatches from other swatchers with different skin tones, because this one definitely pulls blue on me versus the purple in the blurple category. And you can see that it has a very beautiful and strong shift to it. Definitely golden and green depending on the angle. And it's just really pretty. I love blues. Next up, we have Lies Are Comforting, and this one is described as a vibrant red with large particle red to green shimmer. There is also a note here from Bee's Knees Lacquer that this one may stain. Personally, I did not experience any signs of staining, but take that information as you will. Definitely use a base coat. I always do when I actually wear nail polish outside of swatching. So this one you can see actually builds up very well in 2 coats. You might need 3 if you apply very thin coats or have a very visible free edge that you want to cover, but this one was beautiful, glowy, and opaque in just 2 coats. I would definitely put a top coat on this one just to maximize the glow. As you're going to see in a second, this one is ridiculously fiery. It is such a gorgeous red. It's a very sexy red. If you want sexy red nails, I don't know if that's a thing, but I feel like it is. So this is very sexy, and as you can see, it is very glowy. The shimmer in this one isn't really contrasting, you're not getting blue shimmer, but all of the shimmer is playing together to create this fiery effect where you've got a bit of gold, definitely red, and green at like very, very extreme angles. But this one is, it's fiery, it's fuego, it's hot, it's beautiful. Next up we have You're Making Us Look Bad, and this one is a cobalt blue with blue to purple shimmer. So this one is to me a sibling to the previous one in the sense of the formulation, where it is this intense polish that has a shimmer almost the same color as the base, which just creates a beautiful glow to it. And I don't want to say this is metallic looking because it's not, but it has this very cool effect to it that it's just, I don't know. I don't know how to describe it because it isn't metallic-y, but I think it's just like the doubling up of the base color and the matching shimmer. It creates this really intense glow to the polish that you just have to see to believe. And I also found this one to be good in 2 coats. Again, you might need 3 if you paint very thin coats, but I was happy with it in 2. And you can see hopefully what I mean about the glow in this one already. It's a beautiful shade of blue. At extreme angles, it almost looks like a navy blue, and in brighter lighting, it looks more like a cobalt blue. It's absolutely, I can't speak anymore. I am just trying to get a whole bunch of videos out before I go on vacation because amazing polishes are coming out while I'm away, and I want you to see the swatches the minute you can. So apologies for the brain fog and mispronunciation of words and general gibberish. Next up is The Right Way Isn't the Only Way, and it is a deep violet base with emerald to blue to purple to pink multi-chrome shimmer. So this one also has a note that it may stain, but thankfully I didn't see any indicators of staining, so I still recommend a good base coat if you're planning on wearing this. And wow, there are a lot of color shifts to this one, so it builds up beautifully. For me, it built up in 2 coats. You might need 3, but it was quite opaque in 2. And again, apologies for not having comparisons, but I just wanted to get these swatches out to you. This one is reminiscent of There's My Grumpy Shadow Prince, if anyone recalls that one, except it doesn't have reflective glitter, but there's something about it. I think it's the base color, it's similar. And it's also reminding me of another one that I don't remember the name of, which isn't very helpful to anybody, but it's still totally unique. It's just, that's what it reminded me of. And you can see here, this is another very glowy polish because of that multi-chrome shimmer. It looks like 5 different polishes depending on what lighting you catch it in. So at extreme angles, it's very, very, very purple, like a royal purple. Then you get a blue sort of teal shift in whatever lighting I'm in right now. And in some other angles, it almost looks green. So if you're a purple lover, I'm telling you, this one made my jaw drop. It's stunning. I love it. It's so rich and vibrant. Here we have Don't Borrow Tomorrow's Trouble, and this one is a deep red base with blue to purple to pink multi-chrome shimmer. So this one, this one is beautiful. This one has like a beautiful sort of magenta-y base effect to it, which I love. It's one of my favorite kinds of polishes to wear. I just feel very pretty when I wear colors like this. And again, this one builds up really well. It's not a 3-coater for me. It was opaque in 2. And you can probably already see by now some of that multi-chrome shimmer peeking out. The blue and the purple is definitely already visible. And this one dries down like a tiny bit dull, but not really, but I still would recommend top coat because clearly it already looks even prettier when you apply the top coat. And as you will see right now, this one is very glowy. That blue shimmer is that similar blue shimmer that gives a polish a very glowy look to it. I love the pink shift at the extreme angle on this one. It looks good out of direct lighting. It looks good in indirect lighting. It looks good everywhere. It's truly beautiful. It even looks red in some instances. I just can't get over this one. I think it is so pretty. And here we have a dragon without a rider is a tragedy. And this one is an olive base with cyan to purple to pink to green multi-chrome pigment. And this one is very unique. It is probably the sheerest one in the entire collection. So if you had a similar olivey base color, you might want to layer it. You could also probably layer it over black, but this one will definitely be a 3-coater or 4 if you want to try to get it more opaque on its own. And this one has a really interesting color shift to it. It's also interesting because the multi-chrome shimmer pigment in this one, I don't want to say it's visible, but it's kind of visible. Like as you're building it up, you could probably see like these tiny little dots in it. And it just creates this very dimensional look on the finished manicure, as you will see very shortly. And this is one I would recommend capping your tips with. It seemed to be more jellyish in formula compared to the other ones, but it could just be the color. But it's just an observation and a tip if you want to get the most beautiful manicure possible. And as you can see, this one is pretty much opaque for me in 3 coats, but I think depending on your polish style, you might want to do 4 or layer it and definitely apply top coat just to finish everything off, though this one is very shiny on its own, which makes me think it is a little bit more jelly because jellies tend to be shinier when they dry down. And here it is. So this one kind of surprised me when I started moving my hands around because it looks very different than when I was applying it under my swatch lights. It's got this gorgeous red shift to it. It's got an orangey golden shift to it. And then it looks a bit blue at times. It looks a bit purple. You can see here, the footage doesn't lie. Oops, I almost dropped my phone. And this one is very, very shifty, very interesting, very unique. And unlike anything in my collection, there are no comparable polishes to this, in my opinion. Just wanted to show it off a little bit more with a different lighting. And now we're going to get into the spoilers. So if you don't want to see what you could potentially get in the mystery bags, I've got just 2 of them. There are 12 or 13. Don't watch any further. You could skip ahead to my outro where I talk about my favorites. But if you want to see what you could get, here you go. So one of the potential mystery polishes is Pest Control, and this is a Rusty Clay Dumicorn sibling with the same green to aqua to blue shimmer. And if you want more of a spoiler about the mystery polishes, they all kind of look like not all of them, but a good majority seem to be Dumicorn siblings. So I desperately hope I can get my hands on a bag because I want more Dumicorns. I want the entire Dumicorn family and extended family and adopted family. I love Dumicorn. So pest control is definitely on the sheer side. I think you would want to build it up in 3, maybe 4 if that's your tea, that's your jam, that's your cookie, whatever. And then you can also layer it if you don't like the sheer look. But it is beautiful. It is so pretty with that green shimmer. It's really intense and pops out really nicely against this base color, which on me looks like a mustardy kind of yellow, I would say. And as you can see, it does dry down very glossy, but you should still use top coat because I say so. And I can't wait for you to see this one when I start moving my hands around because it is just phenomenal. If you know the original Dumicorn polish, you know how beautiful it is. So the fact that Bee's Knees Lacquer keeps gracing us with even more Dumicorn siblings is just a gift. So here it is. You can see that aqua shift to it. Definitely the green. It kind of looks orangey at more extreme angles. And then in direct light, the polish overall to me looked more yellow. It's a very, very interesting color. I have nothing else like it in my collection, but I am so happy to have it. And here, basically in any lighting, it's going to look beautiful. I can see a lot of people crossing their fingers for this one in their mystery bag. And the other mystery I have to show off is Skills. And this one is a hunter green with black to red multi-chrome shimmer. So this is like a red to black multi-chrome like I've never seen before. At first when I was applying it, I hadn't read the description, so I was like, oh, it's just a black base, but then you can really tell that it's this interesting kind of murky hunter green, and it creates this really interesting effect when you build the polish up. You definitely will want 3 coats with this one, or layer it over a black cream if you don't want to waste your polish. But it is a gorgeous effect. I love black nail polish, so this one has a definite twist to it because it does overall kind of come off as a black, but then you realize there is something different with it, and I love a polish with a secret. So I actually was satisfied with my index finger for the most part in 2 coats, but I went in with my middle finger, added a little bit more, and then realized that my index finger now needed more polish. So it ended up being 3 coats, but it is fully opaque in 3 coats. And again, who doesn't love extremely glossy black nails? Short, glossy black nails is like, you can bury me in that. So this polish is just doing so much for me. I love it so much. And here you can really see that hunter green aspect, and then of course the red shift with the multi-chrome pigment is so beautiful. It is so intense and so interesting. I don't think I'm ever going to get tired of the red to black multi-chrome. I know it sort of came out a few years ago. Maybe people thought it was overdone, but I am still here for it, and you can always give me another red to black multi-chrome and I will be excited every time I put it on my nails. And this one is a stunner, so cross your fingers that this also comes in your bag. I don't know. I like all of the polishes in the collection and I love both of the mysteries. I think I'm going to be picking up the mystery bags because I just want all of them. I want all the Bee's Knees. I won't talk about those in case people don't want spoilers, but from the Fourth Wing collection, My top picks, I'm gonna just choose 3, even though I would probably choose them all. Lies Are Comforting is just a beautiful red. It's very shifty, it's extremely glowy, and it has a fantastic formula. I really enjoyed wearing that. To Teach Us About Our Past is absolutely beautiful. I'm just looking at it again in the bottle, and it is so shifty. It's kind of unexpected because it doesn't look like the bottle on your nails, but it's beautiful in a really interesting way, and I like the larger sized particles of shimmer. And lastly, I would say don't borrow Tomorrow's Trouble because it's purple and super glowy and not fully a multi-chrome, or maybe it is, but it's, yeah, I guess it is a multi-chrome. I don't know. No, it's more of a shimmer, but it has like a multi-chrome-ness to it, and I just think it is so beautiful. So let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hopefully you're as excited as I am to be seeing Bee's Knees Lacquer back with a new collection. Let me know what your top picks are, and don't forget to set your calendars, alarms, whatever, clocks for the release so you don't miss these. And I guess that's it for me. So have a great day wherever you are, and hopefully I will see you in my next video. Bye!